You need your cleaning lady.
Welcome to Vancouver Business Network, where entrepreneurs learn, network, and grow. I am Roger Killen, the organizer. Our weekly workshop for entrepreneurs is brought to you by TELUS Business, the fastest and most reliable pure fiber broadband network in Metro Vancouver. Our speaker is Jocelyne Devisser. Jocelyne is a former chartered professional accountant who worked in the financial industry and with small business owners for over 20 years. One thing that distinguishes Jocelyne from other accountants is that she can make accounting easy and fun. Yes, you've read that right. You've actually heard that right. Easy and fun is Jocelyne Devisser's middle name. Let's give it up for Jocelyne.
Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. So thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Roger. I've been bugging him for 1.5 years to speak here. I had to prove I could do it. So it's not moving. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we are all here tonight to learn how to decrease both your taxes as well as your admin time. Because like I said during the talk, is about having system in place. That's what make it easy and fun, okay? So the agenda will be going like this. I'm gonna introduce you a little bit about me so you know why you should hear me, listen to me. Sorry. And I'm gonna also go after that over some business expense, what you can claim and what can't you claim, as well as paperwork, what's important and what's not. And also managing your time with it because it's really important, as well as a bookkeeping system. Are you using the right system for you? And then if you need help, I have an offer for you, as well as question. Anyone will solve all your questions after. Okay? So about me a little bit. I was born an entrepreneur, first of all, and I have been working in accounting and finance all my life. I was previously designated with a CFP, which is financial planning, back home when I was in Quebec, as well as here a CPA, which is a professional accountant in BC. And now I'm using all the knowledge that I've been learning from all that experience to teach business owner, which I call the accidental entrepreneur, because most of people start a business because they're passionate and because they love something, they start a business, but unfortunately never went to business school. So I help them to make it easy for them and thrive in the back end as much as they do in the front end. So this was, oh, I don't see the same thing on my screen and here. That's why it's struggling. Sorry about that. So that was my first business. I don't know if you know about this. This is a catalog that I was 9 years old and I ordered a box of catalog and I went to all my neighbor and I gave this magazine and I said, check if there's something you'd like to buy for your house and I'll come back in a week and take your order. And then a week later, I went and took all the orders and bring the money home and bring everything. Okay, sorry. and then I gave the money to my mom. She put it in her bank account. She wrote a check to the company. We put the order in the mail. We sent it to the company. And about 1 month after, we were receiving all the goodies, which I went to all the house giving this. And I was making about 40% on what I sold. So I was 9 years old when I did this. Second business, I babysit pretty much all the babies in my hometown. So much that when I was 14 years old, I was the first bookkeeper. Look at this. This is 1992. I was 15 years old. I found this book again. Was me putting down all the hours that I work as a babysitter, earning barely $2 an hour. And I made $2,000 in a year. So count how much babysitting I did. And then these are some big companies that I work for as a financial planner, as well as a controller. And then in 2012, I started on my own And I was in Whistler, so spend more time on the mountain and less time in the office. Give me your bookkeeping and your accounting, right? But so this business was about doing the bookkeeping for people as well as accounting. And this is when I went back to school to get my CPA designation. And this is what I realized 5 years in, until 2017, this is what the struggle was. People were calling me to have a bookkeeping services, and I was asking questions, and then they didn't have a clue. And I realized that the struggle was real. Entrepreneur, they need a bookkeeper. Why? Because they don't know what to do. But even if you have a bookkeeper, it's unfortunate because you need to know what to do. Otherwise, you are the driver on the seat, right? And your business, a lot of business fail because of that, right? So this is when my business, JJ Costkeeping, was born. It all started when this lady called me one day and she said, I need a bookkeeper. So I said, okay, what software do you use? Do you need a bookkeeper to do weekly, monthly, yearly? Do you do a part of it yourself, or do you want me to do everything? And do you charge GST? Do you like all those questions? And she was like, I don't know. And hold on, let me explain. And I said, okay. She said, I've been working at this store for 4 years. I know how to run the store. I know how to order everything, put it in the shelf, and I'm good at that. And now the owner just sold the store and I'm the happy buyer. So I need a bookkeeper. And said, I said, I'm sorry, but you need way more than a bookkeeper, because if you're not the best CEO and knowing your number and knowing what to do, what if you hire a bookkeeper that doesn't know what they do, right? And I can swear that I've been doing a lot of bookkeeping for different clients and getting files from previous bookkeeper. And I would say that 1 out of 7 bookkeepers are good. So if you're a business owner and you are not knowing what's happening in your business, then you're setting yourself for failure, right? So I didn't want this to happen. I wanted to be the saving more you want to share with people to save more business owner, like 4 instead of 3. That, well, now tonight after seeing my bookkeeping, my presentation, now I'm going to save 2 more, 6. Let's save 6 people, okay? So this is when my business started. And then, this is my lovely family. I used to be single mom all my life. When I moved here away, along my little daughter there, she was 7. And I met the man of my life. We just got married like almost 2 years ago now. I always wanted to marry Elvis all my life, and I couldn't, so I had Elvis to marry me. I went to Vegas, and it was a big party. Enough about me. Now let's deep into the big subject. So, business expense. Do you claim the right thing? So the biggest common, or do you leave money on the table? So the most famous question is, what can I claim and what can't I claim as a business expense? So this is what we are going to be covering for quite a little bit of time. So the answer is that you can usually deduct the expense that occur for your business, okay? To be deductible, they have to be ordinary and necessary. So what is ordinary and necessary? So an example as an ordinary expense, let's say a massage therapist, that table to do massage, that's gonna be an ordinary expense, right? It's a part of, I'm an accountant, so I need an accounting software to do taxes on, so that's ordinary, right? A necessary expense, doesn't go. A necessary expense is something that it's kind of helpful and mandatory for your business. So example, if you are cutting trees, that's your business, you need to have safety pants, right? You need to have safety boots. Well, if that massotherapist buy those pants and those boots, obviously it's not deductible for them. It's deductible when it's necessary, okay? So it can be ordinary or necessary. A few examples that we are going to go over: bank fees and interest. So that is a place that money is left on the table. The reason why is that most of people that I know, they don't have a separate bank account than a personal and a business bank account. You need to have two different accounts. It doesn't have to be a business bank account. It could be 2 personal, Jocelyne Devisser, but put it separate. the main thing is that you'll save so much time on your bookkeeping. The second thing is that if you get an audit with the government, it's going to be way simpler for them, and you will have more, they will allow you more than if you have everything mixed up. As well as if you have everything mixed up, like the fees that you're paying, is it for personal or business? So most of them, they don't claim anything, right? So this is a big place that money is left on the table. Marketing and advertising. So these are coming here tonight. This is a $12 expense. That is for your marketing, right? You market yourself. If you do tomorrow you do some Facebook advertising, then that's for your business, that's another expense that you can claim. These are straightforward, right? Office supplies, that's a place that I see that money is left on the table, because most of us, we all need a pen, we all need a little book, you know? So this is all deductible because you use it for your business, right? So that's the thing, like people don't know what they can claim and what they cannot claim. And it's either they claim everything or they leave stuff. Oh, I'm going to leave stuff that way the government is not going to be on my back. But that's not true, because the day that they audit no matter what, right? So you should just take advantage of what you can claim. The next thing is professional fee, which is straightforward. Like if you need a lawyer to have an incorporation in your business, or accounting fee to do your taxes. Meal and entertainment, that's a big one that people always like, no, if I go for travel business in Seattle, I have to eat there, then it's 100% deductible. No, it's 50% no matter what, 50%. Business travel, business local, business whatever, it's 50%, okay? And what is considered a meal and entertainment is that, let's say that I go with Natalie and I meet for coffee and we are together, it's a business meeting, then this is deductible. Like if I'm just like having by myself a dinner, not business related, and then after that I go for a meeting with a client, then I could bring my lunch, so that's not deductible, okay? Travel expense, so if you have to go somewhere for business travel, like hotel, flight, taxi, bus, whatever you need to do for your business to make it happen, that it's deductible as well. Professional development, a lot of people do a lot of personal growth, business development class and everything. So you always need to question yourself. Like if I pay for this class, $5,000, am I gonna make money with this or not? Like if you do some personal development on I don't know, being more kind to everybody and whatever, like is it gonna give you more business or not? So that could be a gray area, right? So every expense deductible, the government says, okay, you paid this expense to grow your business, is it gonna generate money? Yes, then you can claim. No, you cannot claim. So it's always like that question you need to ask yourself, okay? So rent or home-based office expense. So let's say that here you don't own this plane and you rent it. Obviously, this is 100% deductible. You're at home, okay? So you have an office and you work at home, then this is also deductible. And this is another place that people are leaving money on the table because they are thinking, oh, it's so complicated. It's so like all the calculations. So instead of being it wrong, I'm not gonna put anything on my taxes. Well, this is money left on the table, okay? So if you are working at home, you need to measure your square footage. So for me at home, I have a full room. It's an office. It's a full room, 10 by 10, so it's 100 square foot. So I take that 100 square foot and my whole house is 3,500. So 100 divided by 3,500, that's the percentage that I can claim of the hydro, of the gas, because we heat the house with the gas, of the interest on the mortgage. You cannot claim the payment on the mortgage, it's just the interest part, property tax, like everything that is kind of an repair and maintenance if something happened with that percentage. So the square footage of your, square footage of your office divided by the total square footage of your home. Motor vehicle expense. You can deduct motor vehicle expense only when they are reasonable. You will hear this all the time, reasonable with the government, and when you have receipts to support them. Okay, so if you put gas and you never collect your gas receipt, too bad, so sad. And then you can get the full benefit of the gas and the insurance, the car insurance, the loan, the interest on the loan, as long as you always keep a good record of it. So the more detail you have, the better it is. So if you have been driven 3,750 kilometers for the business for the whole year, but the total that you've been driven with your car was 25,000, then you divide the one on top of the other one. So here, 3750 divided by 25, it's 15%. So you can collect all the receipts and then add them all up and then times 15%, and that's what you can claim for your car as a business expense. Okay, if you are incorporated, like see, my business is incorporated, my car is personal. What I do, I don't even collect any slips, any gas receipt, anything. I just go with the law says, like a 50, this year it's 55 cents a kilometers for the first 5,000. And then after that, it's 48 cents a kilometers, I believe. But this is when you're incorporated. So there's two different methods, but if you are self-employed, you need to keep all your receipts as well as a logbook of all where you've been going. Okay, if you want to know more, having a great list, I have a gift for you. It's free. You can download it at jjcostkeeping.com/VBN-gift. That is, you just need to put your email address and you will receive a full, this is what you'll receive, a PDF. It's called the Ultimate Business Expense Cheat Sheet. Everything you need to know to pay less taxes and keep more of your hard-earned money. So I invite you to go and download that spreadsheet. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Next. So next on the agenda is paperwork. So what is important and what is not? And that is the place why most of people don't like bookkeeping, and that's why the bookkeeper always asks for the receipt that you don't have. I don't remember who said that. But this is what is happening, like how to maximize your time with this. And once again, it's all about system, okay? So here, I have an example. What is this? This is a receipt of payment. This is not an invoice. This is not a receipt for your taxes. It's a receipt of payment. So what is it showed here? It showed the name. It says the MasterCard that it was paid and the total. This, I'm sorry, it's not a receipt. It's not good. What was bought there? Was it like a toy for my kid? Was it restaurant? Was it alcohol? What was it, right? So this is a receipt of payment, and that's one of the biggest mistakes that small business owners do, is that they are busy, they get the bill, they pay, and they get the last receipt. So this one is the receipt you want to keep, because this one says, oops, this one says what I've been eating. Corn chowder, the tax, if you are GST registered, the government is wanting you to see the amount as well as the GST number. So as if you are paying GST to the government, you need always to have your GST number on your invoice, okay? So that is the receipt. But some people will say, well, I need this because see, in this case here, the service was included. It was a group, so the service was included. But most of the time, this is not what's happening. The total of the bill will be, let's say, $9.45. And then when you pay, after that, you add tips, and then you have a different amount. So which receipt do you keep? Both. You keep both of them, okay? So that's what is important. Always both, okay? So are you maximizing your time with it? Because there's just so many paperwork. Like, see, we have two here. And then you receive an invoice from a provider, and then you pay, like, do I keep the receipt of payment? Do I keep the receipt? Like, it can be so complicated, right? And this, I feel that it's like this. I hate dishes. I don't know about you guys. So bookkeeping, it's not fun. it's like dirty dishes, right? But when I see this, I don't want to do the dishes. I just don't want to do the dishes at all, right? So the trick is keep your sink clean. And if you come with one plate, then do something with it right away. Rinse it and put it to dry, or put it in the dishwasher, but do something right away with it. So the next time you come with another plate, then there's not that mess. You say, oh, my sink is so clean, I want to keep it clean, right? So that's having a system, okay? So in this case, a system would be probably to have a dishwasher, right? That's why dishwasher are so popular, right? So I have a great system for you, which is another gift for you. And if you are the type of shoebox people, okay, listen to this. The people that I help the most, I'm going to put that in. That's the same link as earlier, but let me explain to you. The shoebox people are the people that are gathering all the receipt 1 month, 3 months, a year, and then they decide, oh, it's tax time just right now, and I have that pile of paperwork to do. Like that is like this. It's stinky. You don't want to dig 1 year of paperwork, right? And this is when you give it to a bookkeeper. And I have another story about that. When I started this business, it's for that reason. One guy, this is what he did. He gave me a big shoe box, not a shoe box, like a Lululemon bag of receipt. He had like over a year of receipt. It took me 5 hours to sort all the paperwork to be able to start doing the bookkeeping, and half of it was missing. So not only he had to pay me for those 5 hours at $50 an hour, but then I was back and forth. You missed this, you missed this, I need that. And then like it's a year down the road, right? Like how you don't even remember what happened last week, right? So how can you expect to remember what happened a year ago, right? So that's why I decided to start this business to save money to people, because that guy, like $250 just to sort paperwork. Like I almost said, like, why you didn't give it to your kids to sort it out to save money? Because I'm all about saving money for myself, so I want to share this with people, right? So you need to have system in place, and the best system in place that you can have if you are the shoebox people, after you go on this link and you put your email address to receive my cheat sheet, it's gonna bring you to another page, and it's gonna say, thank you for downloading. You will receive your cheat sheet soon in your email. But while you're here and read this, I called it Organize Your Shoebox System. So it's a daily habit, a weekly habit, a monthly habit, and a yearly habit. Everything you need to know, what paperwork is important, how to do it, and how to put it that if you do the bookkeeping yourself, your future self will love you for that. And if you have a bookkeeper, you'll save so much money in time, and you'll save time as well. Okay, so this system can save a minimum of 3 hours. And for some people, it's 3 hours a month, and some people it's 3 hours a year and on a repeat, okay? And usually that, this is it's a mini training. It's a 12 minutes video that you will receive, and it's going to give you everything you need to know. And usually it's $97 that I sell this system, and it's all worth every single penny at $97. And through this link, you'll have 82% off. So do the math. It's going to be very cheap for you to be able to be organized, okay? And then that's going to be this, before and after. You'll have a good dishwasher doing the job for you. And then after, you decide if you want to do the bookkeeping yourself. Should I get the system? Yes. After that, you decide if you want to do the bookkeeping yourself, or if you want to hire a bookkeeper. And then that, like someone said, like my bookkeeper is proud of me because I do all in the spreadsheet. Was it you, Selena, right? Yeah, so if you do things right, then people appreciate working for you, and you should save money as well, okay? So that's my third part. So this is the third part, bookkeeping software. So a lot of people say, Jocelyne, I remember, David, we had this discussion maybe a year and a half ago. He said, oh, what software should I use for my bookkeeping? Well, it all depends. If you are just tracking revenue and expense, I will recommend you something. If you're also tracking accounts payables, if you're also tracking accounts receivable, if you're also tracking payroll, and you want to have different reports like the balance sheet, the income statement, and all this, then it depends, okay? So I decided that my people that I wanted to help is the shoebox type of people. Why? Because I can help them so much. I can help them to be efficient, save on time, and save on money. So the people that have a revenue and expense, and let's say a construction company, they do a lot of project and they bill their client once a month, and the client take like 45 days, 30 days to pay, then they have to track like all the accounts receivable, accounts payable. Then you don't have a choice. You have to have a good software, which would be like probably QuickBooks or Simply Accounting, which is now Sage 50. I mean, the old school. So depending on what you need, you might want to have a more sophisticated software. But the people that I decided to help in my life is the shoebox people, which is, again, the people that gather all their receipts until the end of the year. And now it's tax time and they are freaking out. They need to do something to get their taxes done, right? So in that case, you would just have to track revenue and expense, right? So, and you would have, if you have a limited transaction, would be probably 15 a week. If you go more than 15 a week, then you might want to still use like Wave Accounting or QuickBooks because it uploads from your bank account, even if you still have to categorize everything. But the problem with those software that I see is that as a solopreneur, you have so many hats. You have to deal with your email, you have to deal with YouTube for videos, you have to do with your building a list, an autoresponder, and there's so many software and technology that we need to learn about. Facebook, we need to learn about LinkedIn. It's all different software and platform. So bookkeeping software, it's another software to use. If you don't have accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll, then you are paying for a software that you don't even use 10% of it, and it could be very confusing for someone that just don't exactly know what they are doing, right? So for me, like some said that they are using spreadsheet. Spreadsheet in that case is the best system. You have revenue, you have expense, you categorize everything, poof, you give it to your accountant and your accountant can do your taxes, right? So for that reason, I have built 6 years ago now a software in Excel. It's very sophisticated. There's some drop down to categorize there, and you have your month to date and your year to date and everything. And I sold so many copies of that software. The problem was that if you don't have the real Microsoft Excel, it doesn't work. If you add like a Mac and you have numbers, it doesn't work because the drop down doesn't work. It doesn't lock because there's so many formulas in the background that if it was not locked, someone can screw it up right away. So I don't want to deliver something that people will get stuck with this, right? So I had this software for a long time, which has been helping a lot of people. But lately, I developed another one. I developed one in Google Sheet because Google Sheet, you don't need to pay for Google Sheet. And it's not as sophisticated as the other one, but it still does the job. And I have a little video that I filmed, and then I'll let, there's no voice, so I'm gonna talk to you over this. Here, okay. So it started. And I'm going to turn myself here a little bit because when it moves. So this is the Google Sheet, if you're familiar with Google. And there is different, see, this is the total of the yearly. So you see from January to December, here you can see all the monthly revenue. So let's say you have different category of revenue, coaching, workshop. You want to see where you gain your money from. Then as you will go on your spreadsheet, I did the same thing. It's working here, but not here. It's working. We had a bet, Roger and I. He said, you shouldn't put a video there. It's not going to work. And we tested and it was working. I said, it's going to be fine. Don't worry. We bet $5. Okay. So the video is playing here. It's moving from tab to tab. So I'm just going to talk to it about it. That's okay. I'm not stressed with technology. So see, let's say I'm clicking on January here. I have exactly the same thing, but I don't have January at the top here. It's just like if you have a coaching revenue, you'll put, let's say I will have 1,000 of coaching, it's going to be in this cell. Let's say the next time I have a 2,000, and then it all adds up for that category, for that line of revenue. And if I have another one, it's line by line. But as I fill out all my tab for the month, it's also reporting all here. So in one view, you can see where you're at in your year. January, you have that much of income and you have that much of expenses. And when you scroll down, which it shows here, there's nothing you can do right now, right? To switch it. Oh, it's just the switching. We kind of have time. So do you mind or you don't mind?
It's being recorded.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm human. It's just because it's all about, yeah. Do you bear with me for 2 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So can you come and do the switch? Sorry, human nature. I like it because it shows that we're not perfect, right? Everyone should work now. See, thank you, Sam. See, you should hire him. He's good. He's looking for a job. Okay, so see, yes, it should work. No, it's not working. It's what you said, the duplicate the screen that at the beginning. Okay, yes, we got it. Yay. Okay, so see, we are on the January tab now. And as you can see here, I'm putting all different type of revenue that I had during the month. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put all the expense that I had during the month. And then you do your month to date. So it's January, you do all your things, right? So at the end of the month, then you can go back to your yearly tab and see how your month was. And then the next month, then the second month is adding up, right? So you always see where you're at with your month, current month, but also where you're at with your year to date, okay? But the most interesting thing is to come is that, see, you come back here to the yearly. You see now that, see, there's revenue adding here. This is the total for the whole year, okay? As well as here, some expenses. And if you have a new income category, you can just customize it here on the first tab here. And then you go to January and it's been added, okay? So the way that the spreadsheet is built is that everything in red, you don't touch. Everything in blue, you can touch, okay? So now this is my income statement page. As you fill out all the information, then your income statement fills out itself, that you just need to print and give to your accountant, and he has everything on a silver plate to do a nice tax return. See, look at this. And we have the home base office expense. I remembered I explained the percentage. You put all the expense for the whole house for the whole year, and at the end you come and you put your percentage and you change your name of the business. So now you have income revenue so far 7,000, and then all the expense you put your 15,000. Oh, and see, if you collect GST, if you are registered with GST, see here you have GST collected. So let's say you have 2,000 in revenue, so you charge it 100 in GST, you put it here. And if you paid an expense $50 and you had GST, you put it here. So GST collected here and GST paid here. And then at the end, we'll come back. But at the end, see, we go to the GST tab and you have all your reporting. So this is if you report annually, you have all your month and the total collected minus the total paid. But if you report quarterly, then you have all this. And you don't scratch your head to bleed in your forehead.
In German. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, and then at the bottom here on the total, we have assets and liability. So let's say in a computer, you bought a computer this year, $2,000. It's not an expense. It's an asset that you have in your business that we will expense over time in your business. So those type of expense, you need to give it to your accountant and say, I bought a computer, $2,000. So that's why at the bottom there is assets that you paid, and it's a separate category, and the accountant knows how to deal with that for your tax return. Okay, so right now I am that's pretty much the spreadsheet. So I'm going to open the floor for question right now before I go further. Yes.
What does Wave accounting exactly do? The Wave software?
Can you speak up?
Oh, sorry. What does Wave, the software you mentioned?
Wave?
What does it do?
Well, it's a technique. It's a software. Oh, sorry. What I named the Wave accounting software. It's like QuickBooks. So just enter your expense, enter your revenue, and if you have some invoice to send, then you can send your invoice with this and everything. Yes.
Any expense to upgrade the office space? That's all.
Yes, so the question is everything to upgrade the office. Let's say you buy a new desk, a new chair. Yes, this is not something you expense in 1 year because it lasts maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years. So this is something that you need to tell your accountant that you bought some equipment, office equipment, and then he's going to take that amount and it's called an amortization schedule. And then there's law with government. If it's that type of asset, like you can claim 20% this year. If it's that type of asset, it's 50%. So he's going to know where to put it and claim it for you. Yes, you need to, yes, because for renovation, it's just going to depend, and your accountant is the best person to answer this because depending on what it is, you know, like it's like if you put a new roof in a house, it doesn't necessarily increase the value, but if you put something else, it could increase the value. So there is some distinction in if it's an asset or if it's an expense. And I suggest that if something like this happened, contact your accountant to. Yes, you put it on the side. And also if it's an asset, something like this, keep the receipt as well, and give the receipt with the like you can print the income statement and give this. You don't need to give all your receipts, but for these assets, you want to keep a copy and give the copy to your accountant. Yes.
How do you work with multiple currencies coming in and going out?
So different currency coming in and coming out. Okay, so for me, my business is here locally in BC, but most of what I do, I charge only US money. Why? Because I'm global and it simplifies my bookkeeping, right? That's why my bookkeeping is fun. It's the most simple it is, right? So I have PayPal account and it's all US. So once in a while, I'm going to accept Canadian. If I deal with Canadian, I'm going to invoice and they have one choice to give me an email money transfer, right? But so the way we treat this, it's gonna depends if you just have a Canadian bank account, it's easy because if you receive US money and you put it in the Canadian bank account, they will convert it. So let's say you have $500 US and you go to the bank and you put it in your Canadian, the bank will convert it for you. So let's say it's 650, then 650 becomes your figure that you account with. Okay, the problem is when you have also a US account and a Canadian account. So you got 500 US and now you put it in your US account. How much is it worth now? Well, it depends, because if you take that US and you pay again US, it just depends on when it comes and when it goes. And that can be very messy for bookkeeping. And I have a story about this. I have a client here and she's in traduction. So she have people all over the globe, like to do like Japanese and translation, right? Like converting French to Japan or whatever, Japanese. And then she has all the currency you can imagine. And her QuickBooks was so messed up. So she hired me because I was a CPA, and she said, like, my bookkeeper is not good. So I did all her book over and over again for a year. And then we started a fresh year, and now we went again. And now it was the second year. And I at the end of the year, things were not matching. A report here, that same value should be on this report at the same value. It was all mixed up. And I'm like, what's happening here? And I've been doing this forever. So I've been 3 hours on QuickBooks, and there's a glitch in QuickBooks. And they don't even know it. They are not accountant over there, right? They are just tech, right? So there's a glitch. So I had to be creative in the way I was entering the information in the background. I kind of had to use a journal entry instead of using that invoice that they were providing to me. but they probably don't have a lot of complaint because it's probably very rare, because if there's a big business that have like a different currency and everything, a lot of people build their own accounting software, right? So QuickBooks is good to a certain point. So she's probably 1% of the people using this. So yeah, so crazy. We can chat together if you want to have more answer. Yes, Joanna.
My question is, let's say you're a startup and you bid on your idea, so you don't even know if you will have revenue. So your first expenses, like for your website and several expenses that you have, you just do it from your personal account.
Yes.
And then later, once you get your revenue, you of course open up a business account.
Yes.
But what can you do with the expenses that you had before on your personal account?
So the question is, let's say that she has an idea to build a business. So she buy a website and she has some expenses that she does through her personal account. And then eventually she started having the revenue later on. And then she opened a bank account for business. And now she has all her business bank account for all the revenue and expense. How do you claim those expense? You can still claim them, because it's like, there's people here on this planet that don't even have a separate account. They have everything together and they claim it, right? So you just need to have paperwork to prove, like receipt of your website that you paid, your website, your business, right? So you just have to have the receipt to support those transactions. Whether your mom paid for it, whether your business bank account, from your business bank account, your PayPal, or wherever the money is coming from, it was paid for your business, so you have to have the support for that. When you're incorporated, this is a little bit more complicated. It's going to be like the business owner made a loan to the business and you need to claim it back. But if you're self-employed, like you're one with your business and your person, then you just have to have the paperwork to support it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Bella?
So if I go to a regular networking event,
yes,
I'm always paying the same amount.
Yes.
And I have my receipt that shows the itemized items. But then 1 week I don't get it, I just get that payment from...
Give me an example of the itemized.
Oh, like it's a breakfast item.
Okay.
I have the same thing every single week.
Yeah.
And then 1 week I don't have that itemized. I forgot to take it. I just have the receipt from my credit card.
Okay.
I still use that because I've shown a history of that exact same.
Okay, so she's saying she's going to the same networking event all the time. She's having all the time the same breakfast. She's very committed, 1 egg, 1 coffee. And then she has that receipt over and over. And then 1 week she forgot to take that. She just have the payment receipt. Because it's the same price and she's been showing consistently what it was, can she claim it? Like the answer is that you can claim it. Like, it's like, can you drive fast? I love driving fast. Don't tell anyone. It's going to be on YouTube tomorrow, but that's okay. I love driving fast and it's okay. I cannot get caught. That's what I cannot get, right? So can I drive fast? Sure I can. If I get caught, I'm going to have to pay the fine or whatever consequences that's going to happen. So that's the same with CRA. You have some rules in place that you need to follow. And if you don't follow it, if you don't get caught, it's fine. There's the time that they will come and they will audit and they see that's happening, then you will have to deal with it. They must say, well, we don't accept it. You have to prove, and you don't have it, then $10 that you cannot claim this year. But then what the problem is with this is that if this happened a lot during that year, then they can go back 7 years and it could be a lot of money. So you want to be careful. So that's why that if you want to be very organized, get that shoebox system. It's telling you every single thing you need to do to be having good recording. Any other? Yes, Natalie?
The first question, what do you call this other receipt? How to ask for this and all that kind of receipt?
So technically, how do we call the receipts? Other receipts. So let's say you go to the restaurant, the server comes and gives you a bill. Give you an invoice and say, this is the invoice. That's the invoice. You need to pay me for that. That's the invoice. And then you pay with cash or with credit card or whatever. You pay with credit card. And then she has a little machine and then she's giving you the receipt of payment. So there's the invoice and then the receipt of payment. Okay? It's best to have both. If you have the choice, take both for the reason that Sometimes you might pay with your debit card. Sometimes you might pay with your credit card. And that's the receipt of payment that will tell you, your future self, or your bookkeeper, which account you use. And this is important in bookkeeping. Okay? But the first one, the invoice, where it's all itemized, because if you get audited, they want to know what you purchased. Okay, another question?
And another one, should we print all these receipts from website, marketing, advertisement? I have them electronically. Should I print them and keep?
So the question is that if she's got some receipt electronically, like she paid for website, she received everything through email, should she print it? It's no, the government is paperless. Like a year and some ago, they asked everyone to give their bank information because they didn't want to send any more check by the mail. And they asked everyone to put their email address on their tax return so they can send you an email saying you got mail and you log into your CRA account. So they don't want to send any more mail. And I have been audited myself about when I went to go back to school to my CPA designation. I had some schooling fees, right? And I wasn't used to have schooling fees. So what happened? Whoop, a red flag, like she's got schooling fees. So we want to see that. So they sent me through their system, they sent me, you claim some scholar thing, send you the receipt. So I went online and I uploaded my receipt to them and I sent them and they came back and they said, that's fine. So everything is paperless. And this is another thing that I do. I teach how to become paperless. I have programs for that as well. So yes, Laura.
If I am working / camping for about 4 hours at a coffee shop and I buy a coffee, even if I'm alone but I'm working, am I able to claim that?
I would say so, because you know, like you're there for working and you could meet with someone or not, like, and it's a coffee, it's $2, so they won't fight. If it was like something that you paid, say 10,000, I wouldn't, you know. So you have to be reasonable. Like reasonable is happening all the time. So yeah.
Would a meal be reasonable?
I wouldn't do it. Would a meal be reasonable? I wouldn't do it all the time. If you claim it 4 times in the year and you don't get audited, you know. But if you do it all the time and you get audited, then you can be in problem. Yeah, I have time to put 2 more questions. Yes, David.
You mentioned the issue with QuickBooks and multi-currency translations. Which version of QuickBooks?
That was the big version that you have multi-currency in.
But the QuickBooks Online?
No, that was the desktop.
Okay.
Which version of QuickBooks, the currency issue? Yes, last, Daryl.
Okay, what about shoes, fashion?
Shoes, fashion? Oh yeah, that's a no. Okay, there's 2 things that are a no, is that dress. Like even if I have to buy a nice dress to be here in public speaking, this is not a business expense, okay? Because it's clothes, okay? That's a no. Haircut, it's not a business expense. You know, like whatever you have for a living, it's not business expense. And another thing that is a no is that, let's say that this here is a place that Sarah is coming every single day to come to work. It's like if she was an employee, she cannot claim the mileage from her house to come here every day because it's the same location all the time. Yeah, so 1 more.
Just a follow-up to that.
Yes.
It's clothing or something that's specifically required for the job that is deductible, like work boots if you're...
Yes, safety related, like construction and everything, safety related. If it's a clothes thing, yes. But if you have to buy a nice shoes, a nice suit at $500 to be a public speaker and everything, like no, because you can use it for a funeral, you can use it for a wedding, you can use it for everything.
Told me is that one time I had to go speak in Ottawa, and I thought, well, actually, the fur that's still hanging on his coat, only it was an officer who had coat and fur because it was April and everything was shabby because I read the meeting. He said, Barbara, you can't claim that. The only way you can claim it is to claim it as a marketing item, sell it when you come back.
Okay, I won't repeat that one. Okay, so now the last couple minutes I have is to make my offer. So that spreadsheet that I built on Google Sheet, my other spreadsheet was 350, the one that is all customized. This one doesn't have to be customized. It's more simple and everything. So it's a one-time fee. compared to QuickBooks that you would pay $20 a month recurring. This you pay $249 US and you have it for life. And then my special offer for my people online tonight is not $249, it's gonna be $197 US for the spreadsheet. So if people are interested, they can go to jjcostkeeping.com/VBN hyphen offer, and then they will be asked to put their credit card information and buy this, and they will receive an email within like 24 hours with the spreadsheet and with a video how to use it and everything. Okay, so that's it for Roger. That's it. Oh, my contact information. Yes. That's it.
Well, thank you, Jocelyne.
I owe you $5. I'm gonna give you $5.
That's more information than I could consume in 5 years. But thank you so much for sharing it with us. And thank you to TELUS Business for helping us out with the cost of producing this video.